I want to tell you something I have never said out loud. For 40 years, I was the one who showed up. Every birthday, every graduation, every crisis at 2 in the morning when someone needed money or a ride or just someone to answer the phone, I showed up every single time without being asked twice. I'm 81 years old, and 3 years ago, I spent 4 days alone in a hospital room. In 4 days, I received 1 phone call. 1. I counted. I had nothing else to do. My name is Gerald. I worked for 41 years at the same company. Started on the floor, ended in management. Not because I was the smartest man there, because I stayed. Because when something needing doing, I did it. That was just how I was built. You see a job, you do it. You see someone who needs help, you help them. You don't wait to be thanked. You don't keep score. That's what I told myself for 40 years. I'm not sure I believe it anymore. When my children were young, I was the one who fixed things. Robert's bicycle tire at 7 in the morning before school. Patricia's car broke down on the highway. I drove 40 minutes in the rain to get her. When Robert's marriage was falling apart, he called me every night for 3 months. I listened every night. I didn't have answers, but I had the phone, and I kept it charged, and I answered it. When Edna got sick, my wife, I handled everything. The doctors, the insurance, the medications, the appointments. I learned things about pharmacy billing that I never wanted to know. I did it because she needed me to, and because there was nobody else. When she died, I handled that too. The funeral, the paperwork, the house, all of it alone. Nobody asked if I was all right. I told myself they were grieving too. I told myself everyone handles loss differently. I told myself a lot of things in that kitchen at 2 in the morning when I couldn't sleep. Here is what I noticed, slowly, over many years. The calls I received were a certain kind of call. Something is broken. Something went wrong. Something is needed. Gerald, can you... Gerald, I need. Gerald, what do I do? Those calls came regularly. I could set a calendar by them. Robert called when his furnace broke in January. Patricia called every tax season without fail. Same questions every year. The grandchildren called when they needed something explained or something signed or someone to watch the dog for a week. I was always available. I made sure of it. I kept my phone charged. I answered on the second ring. I never said I was busy, even when I was. What I noticed was this. Nobody called on a Tuesday afternoon just to ask how I was doing. Not once. I noticed it the way you notice a loose step on a staircase. The first time you feel it, you think nothing of it. Second time, you make a note. By the 10th time, you realize the step has always been loose, and you have just been stepping around it for years. I had been stepping around it.
3 years ago, in November, I had a cardiac episode. That is what the doctor called it. What it felt like was someone sitting on my chest while I was trying to carry groceries from the car. I sat down on the kitchen floor, right there between the refrigerator and the counter, and I waited for it to pass. It didn't pass. The neighbor found me. Margaret, 73 years old, sharp as anyone I know. She heard something and came to check. She called the ambulance. She rode with me to the hospital because she said she wasn't going to let me go alone, and I didn't have the breath to argue. I was in that hospital for 4 days. Margaret visited twice. My son, Robert, called once on the 3rd day. The call lasted 6 minutes. He asked if I needed anything. I said I was fine. He said to let him know if that changed. Patricia did not call. 2 grandchildren sent text messages. One said, "Hope you feel better, Grandpa." The other sent a thumbs up. A thumbs up. I stared at that thumbs up for a long time. I was not angry. I want to be clear about that. I was not angry. I was something else. Something quieter than anger and harder to name. Something that felt like standing in a room and realizing slowly that the room has been empty for a while and you just didn't notice because you were always the one making noise in it. I went home on a Thursday afternoon. Margaret drove me. She had cleaned my kitchen while I was gone. There was soup on the stove. I sat down at the kitchen table and I thought about 40 years. The drives in the rain, the 2 in the morning phone calls, the tax seasons and the broken furnaces, and the 3 months of listening to Robert's marriage fall apart. The funeral I handled alone, the paperwork, the pharmacy billing. I thought about the last time someone had done something for me without being asked. I couldn't remember. And I want to be honest with you about something. That realization did not make me feel righteous. It did not make me feel like I had been wronged. What it made me feel was tired. A very specific kind of tired that has nothing to do with sleep. The kind of tired that comes from giving something for so long that you forgot you were giving it. I don't tell you this so you will feel sorry for me. I am 81 years old. I have had a life. I have had people in it. I tell you this because of something Margaret said to me that Thursday, sitting at my kitchen table with soup I didn't make. She said, "Gerald, when is the last time you let someone take care of you?" I opened my mouth to answer. I couldn't think of one. Not one time in 81 years I could not think of a single time I had let someone else handle something without stepping in, without saying, "I'll take care of it," without making sure everything was done before anyone else had to worry. I had spent 81 years being the one who showed up, and I had never once let anyone else show up for me. I don't know what to do with that. I am still sitting with it. Some days it feels like a mistake I made. Some days it feels like just who I am. Most days it feels like both at the same time. Robert called last month, not because something was broken, not because he needed anything. He just called. We talked for 40 minutes about nothing important. His garden, a book he had been reading, something his daughter said that made him laugh. I didn't say anything about the hospital, about the one call, about the 6 minutes. But I thought about it the whole time. And when he hung up, I sat in the quiet for a long while. 40 minutes is not 40 years, but it was something. It was something I didn't know I had been waiting for until it finally arrived. I'm 81 years old. I am still learning what I should have asked for a long time ago.